Most zombie movies skip the good part. They show you the aftermath, the survival, the empty streets. But the actual moment when the outbreak begins, that's rare. And every movie on this list is available right now on Netflix, Prime, or Apple TV. Number 15, The Sadness.
Hell, the dead will walk the earth, a tear from the living.
Imagine waking up to a normal Tuesday morning in Taiwan, and by lunch, the entire city is tearing itself apart. The infected here aren't mindless. They retain full consciousness and they enjoy what they're doing. They taunt their victims, they laugh. The film takes place in crowded subway cars and busy office buildings where there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. It doesn't cut away from what's happening. It forces you to sit with the violence as civilization collapses one brutal act at a time. And the first 30 minutes move so fast you barely have time to breathe before it gets worse.
What you mean you ain't seen no bite marks? That's the only way to infect Z's. They bite you. Goes down your bloodstream, make you do crazy things. I'm in the dark!
Number 14, Alive. Junwoo wakes up to screaming outside his Seoul apartment and watches his neighbors being torn apart in the street below. Within hours, his phone loses signal, the internet dies, and the water stops running. He's completely alone with no idea if anyone else is still alive. The film traps you in that apartment with him as supplies dwindle and the infected multiply outside his window. Junwoo isn't a hero. He's a gamer who rations food wrong, makes stupid mistakes, and seriously considers giving up entirely. The slow suffocation of hope is what makes this one so hard to shake. Number 13, Train to Busan.
무슨 일이 벌어지고 있는지 몰라? 저는 더 이상 부산으로 운행할 수가 없게 됐습니다.
A workaholic father is taking his daughter on a train to Busan when an infected woman stumbles aboard just before the doors close. Within minutes, the outbreak spreads from car to car, and suddenly, there's nowhere to go. The contained setting is what makes Train to Busan so devastating. Each train car becomes its own battleground. Survivors barricade doors with luggage racks while the infected pile against the glass. And the whole time, the train keeps hurtling toward a destination that might already be overrun. Every sacrifice in this film means something.
아직까지 남의 안에 열려 있다니까. 우리 이것들 달고 부산으로 갑시다 바로. 진짜 몇 칸?
Number 12, World War Z.
So come back. I'm coming back.
Gary Lane is stuck in Philadelphia traffic with his family when the city starts collapsing around them. People are running everywhere. Cars are crashing into each other. Then he watches someone get bitten and turn in 12 seconds flat. The scale here is what separates it from everything else. These infected don't shamble. They sprint and swarm and climb over each other in waves that move like water rushing through streets. The Jerusalem sequence alone shows thousands of them forming human ladders to scale walls that were supposed to be unbreakable. Every location Jerry visits falls the same way.
Why?
Number 11, 28 Days Later.
We've experienced and survived. And yet greater changes.
Jim wakes up alone in a hospital bed and walks outside to find London completely empty. No cars, no people, just newspapers blowing past Big Ben and the sound of his own footsteps echoing off abandoned buildings. Danny Boyle lets that emptiness sink in before showing you why everyone disappeared. And when the infected finally appear, they're nothing like the zombies you've seen before. They scream. They don't stop coming until you're dead or turned. The film changed the genre forever by making the threat feel genuinely impossible to outrun. And Boyle shot those empty London streets at dawn before traffic filled them again.
The whole world will cease to make sense.
I open the door of heaven and hell.
Incredible changes.
Number 10. Wormwood Road of the Dead.
The United States began to do things which put its own democratic institutions in great jeopardy. Father was in the center of that.
Frank was somebody who has secrets.
Barry is at a backyard barbecue when his wife and daughter turn right in front of him, and he has to put them down himself. Then he discovers that the rules of this outbreak are completely different from anything he expected. The infected are solar powered. They go dormant at night, but turn feral the moment sunlight hits them, and their blood can actually be used to fuel vehicles. The film plays like Mad Max crossed with Dawn of the Dead, full of homemade armor and improvised weapons, and an Australian sense of dark humor that never lets up. It was shot over 4 years on weekends for just $160,000.
But I think the real bad was something worse. He's a man that was profoundly distressed about what he was learning.
Startling new information.
Frank Olson, a former...
Number 9. Peninsula.
인구마가!
4 years after the events of Train to Busan, the entire Korean peninsula has been abandoned and sealed off from the rest of the world. No one goes in and no one comes out. Millions of infected still wander the empty streets of what used to be home. Jung-suk returns to retrieve trucks full of cash that were left behind during the evacuation, but what starts as a heist quickly turns into a fight for survival against both the infected and the militia groups. The film expands from a single train to an entire collapsed nation, and somehow makes the scale feel even more hopeless.
많이 무서웠죠.
Number 8. Ravenous.
Gotta eat. It's tough making friends. Eat to live. Don't live. Eat.
The infected in this film don't behave like any zombies you've seen before. They drag furniture and debris into massive towers in the middle of fields and streets, and then they just stand there, staring, waiting. The film never explains why they do this. You're watching survivors navigate frozen Quebec forests and abandoned farmhouses while these strange monuments grow taller in the background, and no one has any idea what they mean. The dread builds through silence and stillness rather than jump scares, and it won 9 Canadian Screen Awards, including Best Picture.
So annoying. Stu Alamainox. Guy Pearce.
Ives!
I'm going to kill him. Robert Carlyle.
He was tough, but then a good soldier ought to be.
Number 7. The Night Eats the World. Sam passes out drunk at a party in Paris and wakes up the next morning to find that everyone in the building is either dead or turned. The doors are blocked. The stairwells are filled with infected. He's completely trapped on the upper floors with no way out and no one coming to rescue him. This isn't an action movie. It's a slow and quiet breakdown of a man trying to survive complete isolation. Sam scavenges empty apartments for food, marks the passing days on his walls, and eventually starts talking to a zombie trapped in the stairwell, just to hear something other than his own voice. The loneliness becomes almost unbearable to watch.
Hey!
You think there's a cure?
Number 6. The Battery. Two former baseball players are wandering through zombie-infested New England with nothing but a car and each other. No rescue is coming. No safe zone exists. There's just the road stretching ahead and the dead shuffling in the distance, and two people slowly running out of reasons to keep going. The zombies here are almost beside the point. The real horror is watching a friendship fall apart under the weight of endless survival. They argue over nothing. They go days without speaking. One of them wants to find other people while the other doesn't see what difference it would make. The whole film was made for $6,000, and it's more effective than most blockbusters. Number 5, Little Monsters. Miss Caroline is a kindergarten teacher who takes her class on a field trip to a petting zoo, and everything goes wrong when the military base next door loses containment on something that bites. Now she's got 25-year-olds to protect and a fence full of zombies trying to get through. Lupita Nyong'o plays this completely straight. She's not winking at the audience or leaning into camp. She's a teacher who will do absolutely anything to keep her kids from realizing what's happening outside.
Oh God, what have I done?
Ew, what's that?
Oh, he got caught in the middle of a jam.
Number 4, Overlord.
What is this? 1,000-year army. These 1,000-year soldiers.
American paratroopers drop into Nazi-occupied France the night before D-Day with a simple mission: destroy the radio tower in a small village church. It should be straightforward, but then they discover what's hidden in the laboratory. The enemy have been experimenting with a serum that brings the dead back, and the subjects don't come back right. They come back stronger and more violent and nearly impossible to put down. The film starts as a gritty war movie and transforms into full-blown body horror without ever losing its momentum. That opening airplane sequence was filmed in a real aircraft mock-up that was physically dropped to simulate the crash, and the terror on those actors' faces is completely real.
Welcome to
Number 3, REC.
Puede contagiarse.
Atraviesa la saliva.
La situación es insostenible. ¡Hay 2 muertos!
Television reporter and her cameraman are shadowing firefighters on what seems like a routine call. An elderly woman is trapped in her apartment. They go inside to help, and then suddenly people start getting bitten. The military seals the building from outside, and the camera just keeps rolling. The found footage format here is used perfectly. There's no score telling you when to be scared. You see exactly what the cameraman sees as the situation spirals out of control floor by floor. People you just met are suddenly gone, and the screaming in the stairwell keeps getting closer. The final sequence was deliberately kept secret from most of the cast. Number 2, I Am a Hero. Hideo is a struggling manga artist in Tokyo whose life feels like it's going nowhere. His girlfriend just left him. His dreams are fading. Then the morning commute turns into a nightmare when passengers on the train start biting each other, and suddenly none of his old problems matter at all. The film follows the collapse of Japanese society through the eyes of a man who has never believed in himself. Hideo freezes when he should act. He runs when he should fight. He watches people die because he hesitated for just a moment too long. The infected here are grotesque in ways that feel genuinely new. Number 1, One Cut of the Dead. One Cut of the Dead starts with a 37-minute continuous shot of a zombie attack on a low-budget film set. The acting seems wooden. The effects look cheap. The director keeps screaming at his cast. You'll probably wonder why anyone recommended this movie to you. Keep watching. After that long take finally ends, the film rewinds and shows you what was actually happening behind the scenes the whole time. The bad acting starts making sense. The awkward moments become intentional. It transforms into something completely different and far more clever than it first appeared. The whole thing was made for $25,000, and it earned over $30 million because everyone who saw it told someone else they had to see it too.
Yes.